States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, make sure your mic is pulled a little closer.
Oh, you can't hear me? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody from the public that would like to address the common council?
Hello. Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the council. I'm Cheryl Daniels. I live at 14 Hudson Avenue right here in the city. During the night of February 15th, a fire was accidentally started in the building in which I live. The smoke alarms went off about 11:45. One of my neighbors said that there really was a fire this time and to get out of the building. I got down the stairs and walked out to the front of the building. And to my utter shock and surprise, there were about 4 or 5 or more fire trucks out there, a lot of first responders, ambulances, and the Glens Police Department. Every one of the men from these departments acted with total calm and professionalism. One of the tenants had a hard time getting down there. He's an older gentleman. He had a hard time coming down the stairs. And I don't know what floor he lives on, but he was having a hard time. And once he got down there, of course, we were evacuated out of the building. And he had a hard time standing because we were all just kind of standing now. One of, I believe it was the police department, went back into our building and brought an easy chair out for this man to sit in. And I was very impressed by the empathy shown to this gentleman. I just wanted to say that I've always felt very secure and safe in my apartment, but my feelings of security have tripled because of the gentleman, and maybe ladies, if that's the case. Be proud of this group of the Glens Falls Fire Department and the first responders, the ambulances, and the Glens Falls Police Department. I am ever so grateful to everyone who showed up in the middle of that very cold night, and that I live in a city where I feel safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. And I'll be sure to pass them along to the police and fire department and the Board of Public Safety.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Before we begin our regular meeting, we have Robert. Would you like to come up? And Sue, are you coming up too? Or yeah, come on. We're going to be talking about the reval process, and so I'll let you take it from here.
All right, good evening, everybody. Robert Kazar with the Taylor Appraisal Group. I know I've spoken with a lot of you in the past year. I'm working with the assessor's office on updating the assessment records for all of the properties in the city again. We're nearing the very end of that, our evaluation period, which now going forward, we're going to be mailing change of assessment notices to all property owners in the city whose assessment is going to be changed. After that, we will hold what we've done in the past, informal meetings, which will offer the opportunity of property owners to meet with myself or one of my staff to discuss how we came up with the value, what the value is, and hear their concerns prior to the tentative roll being filed on May 1st. So I just wanted to come and talk with you and let you know that where we are in the process or status, and that the letter should be hitting the post office next Monday or next week, and the property owners will be receiving the notices. In the notice, there is instructions for property owners to call one of our phone numbers. If they want to schedule an appointment, it's specific to call that number. We have a service that will be scheduling the appointments. If they call my office, I should refer to that number to call to schedule the appointment. If they have questions about the process, they can call my office or email, and the email address is in that information. That's it. Any questions?
Quick question. So this letter that's going out, one of the things that seems to be a misunderstanding by a lot of people is you get a letter in the mail that says your property is now assessed $50,000 more than it is.
Mm-hmm.
The very first thing you think of is you say, well, there goes my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
there anything in that notice that tells people that this doesn't necessarily mean a large increase in the value?
It does say that, but there's always that perception, right? And what property owners need to understand, what we tell them in our meetings, is that if only your property went up $50,000 in value, nobody else changed, right? Then absolutely you're gonna have a big change in your taxable liability. However, everybody's property value is changing, okay? So it's all going up. And it's also important to note that right now we're at 90% equalization rate, which means that the assessed value on the properties represent 90% of what their value is as of a year ago. So when we raise all the values, right, your property value could go up $50,000 and your taxes can stay the same. They might even go down. It depends on what the percent of increases it is in relationship to the percent of increase of taxable value of the entire city. So if the entire city goes up 15% and you go up 10%, it might seem like a lot of money, but your actual tax liability is going down.
And somehow you put that in 2 sentences so that they understand.
We try.
Yeah. Thanks.
Robert, do you remember what our equalization rate was when we did the first rebound that we had done in 17 years, a few years ago? Or Sue, do you remember?
75.
Okay, so just as a point of comparison, when you don't do these regularly and you let it go for a long time, there's a lot more, obviously, change that is going to occur than when we're doing them on a regular
On a regular basis, right? We did not update last year, correct? And we are at 88 or 93.5. The New York State Office of Real Property Tax Services did analysis, and the equalization rate would be going down a lot more this year if we did not do an update. But because we're going to be doing an update, we're going to be going from the 93 up to 100%. 90. Yeah.
So we're at 90 now, we're 93, we're better than 90.
Okay, we're at 90 now.
Anyone else have a comment?
It would have been going down, if we did not do anything, it would have been going down significantly. And that is a reflection of the market conditions that are happening within the city of Glens. What people are buying houses for in relationship to what their assessed values are.
So are we looking at the tax increase? I gotta get this straight here.
No, well, it depends on individual properties.
Okay, so your property goes up $50,000. So your neighbor's house don't go up. The city around it is the same. So that $50,000 on that person's home is gonna go up. Only that person?
No. If that individual assessment went up 50,000 and nobody else has changed, then it absolutely would.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that it might go up, the entire street might go up 50,000.
Okay.
Okay? And if every assessment doubled, they're not, but if every assessment doubled, the tax rate would be cut in half, and everybody would get the same amount of taxes. So while the taxable value is going to be going up, the tax rates for next year will be going down for school and the city. So it's hard to really equate what's going to happen. But because we're increasing the taxable value of the city, the budgets for the most part are going to stay close to the same unless something happens, which means the tax rate will be dropped.
So we're not changing the tax levy, we're redistributing it according to accurate values, right?
Updated values.
Updated values. So if you don't do that, you could have somebody whose home increased by a lot and someone whose home didn't increase paying maybe disproportionate taxes, where you have one homeowner subsidizing someone else's taxes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the city isn't collecting more taxes by doing this, we're just redistributing it. And then the taxes are actually set at budget time when we look at our expenses and set the tax levy. Yeah.
tomorrow, Wednesday, there is a place where the residents can go to get these questions answered.
You're correct. I went blank before, but it was the last thing I wanted to say. Tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, we'll be having a public information meeting on the second floor here, where homeowners can come, and I'll have a brief presentation of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then answer any questions that they may have. Thank you.
Actually, is it 6:30 or 6? I thought it was 6:30.
6.
Or is it 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, thank you for being here, and thank you for coming tomorrow to talk to our residents.
One last thing. I haven't been here since this has all been done. This was beautiful. This is a great job. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, at this time, we will go to committee reports. Committee reports, Councilman Orange, good.
Yes. Our committee met, and at our first meeting, we are just going over what we want to just get an idea of what we're going to go over, and I met with the mayor and seeing what what she's looking for us to do, and we're looking just to continue some of the projects that we have, and we will be meeting the third Wednesday of each month at 5:30.
And now that we've hired our director of planning and zoning, we'll have her coordinating with her.
That would be great, yes, she will be quite a part of our meeting. So, thank you.
Okay. Councilman,
The Audit and Finance Committee met yesterday. Big shout out, thank you to Carrie Lambert for kind of going through the whole process about how an invoice is paid with the city. It was so insightful and so helpful. And Councilman Lapham and I kind of went through and did a little mini audit of a lot of the purchase orders and a lot of the bills, and just make sure the proper documentation was, and make sure signatures, people signed off, and who needed to do what, and it seemed pretty good. So I think Councilman Lapham and I will give our blessing for the warrant this time. So, and we talked just briefly on fund balance, like trying to get together a fund balance policy, and I think we're going to try to get any department or department head who issues some sort of fee, the charge to residents and whatnot. Maybe we can revise the fee schedules and see what they look like. And I think we'll probably start with take a look at building codes first, and then kind of work our way down. And I think EMS fees and other fees that the city charges. So that's it.
okay, thank you for your work on that. I really appreciate it. I think it's so helpful to have Carrie at those meetings.
Oh, absolutely.
Walking everybody through
Yeah.
it, so thank you to her. Thank you to Carrie.
When are we looking to get an up-to-date budget of new bottom lines?
Yeah, now that we have our new control, well, after tonight, we'll have our provisional controller in place, and she will be starting to produce those financial highlights to you again, which unfortunately we did not have coming to the council for the last year and a half. And so that will be the time where we can start really reconciling those things.
So that would be soon.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, committee report, Councilman Linder.
Thank you. So the Labor and Personnel Committee held their inaugural meeting tonight, Tuesday, February 24th at 5 p.m. And we took up our first meeting to conduct interviews for a city court judge. We had 5 excellent candidates. Great to know that besides our deputy attorney, that there are great attorneys in the city of Glens Falls, living in the city of Glens Falls.
And our turn.
We now need to narrow that down and select a candidate because the window in which this has to be done is short. So we had a good meeting. I think we narrowed it down to a couple people, and we'll probably be discussing this again tomorrow, making some sort of a decision.
Thank you, and thank you to committee members who gave quite a lot of time tonight. next we have committee reports. Councilman Rice.
Policy committee's been active on a few fronts. We currently have 4 policies in development. 2 of these deal with how city employees use the vehicles and equipment, as well as their own personal vehicles. On the vehicle use policy specifically, we're awaiting a review from our attorney and from the committee members before we move forward with the recommendation. I also want to take a moment to thank the department heads for responding to my survey on that policy. Their input has been valuable in shaping the approach, as well as input from New York Conference of Mayors and also a review of the current CBAs that we have with CSEA, PDA, firefighters. We're also developing a policy on unattended personal property on city property and one governing encroachment permits, or I should say that we are looking to revise or review the current policy on encroachment permits and the use of the public right of way. The committee is also reviewing an advisory opinion on 2-hour parking enforcement, and our city attorney is conducting background research on a possible policy governing banners on city property. As we continue to work, we're also working through some operational details. By its nature, this committee requires careful review and deliberation from all members before anything moves forward, and we're refining how we do that effectively.
Thank you very much. This is a committee we haven't had before, and as you can see, it's very needed to review policies in some cases that may have been in place for a very long time and need to be updated, or create policies where there weren't any. So I really appreciate your work. Next, we have Councilman Latin.
The Technology Committee will be meeting on Thursday, March 5th at 5 p.m. And that's it.
Okay, and Councilman Palladino.
The inaugural Quality of Life Committee met on February 17th at 5 p.m. One of the first things we talked about was what sustainability had been working on with Dan Donahue. Dan talked about the solar installations of the Civic Center, the pole post electric cars, and the landfill project on Missouri Road. We talked about community issues, some sent to us by email from Eric from the Shirt Factory about problematic kids near the Shirt Factory, as well as concerns over residential dumpsters on the curb past the pickup time, excessive vibration and noise from the trucks traveling on Murray Street, and concerns over bad smells from local industrial businesses. And we talked about a request from the mayor to see if anyone of this committee would be able to go to the Warren County Office of Solid Waste and Compliance monthly meetings that meets on the second Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Councilwoman at large, Mayor Gooden, expressed interest and availability, and the next meeting will be on March 16th, Monday at 5 p.m. And we're going to bring in Scott Royale of the Warren County Office of Solid Waste and Compliance.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Vick, for being willing to do that for us. I appreciate it. Okay, next we will go to the consent agenda. So let's see. I am going to pull 5.11. More work needs to be done before we consider that, so that will go on a later agenda. Is there anything that anyone else would like to pull for discussion? Yes.
Oh, sorry, we couldn't decide.
Oh, you're right, got it.
Is it, even though technically this is in relation to Dan's committee, is it possible for me to talk about the things I found out about the warrant list? 4 vouchers.
Would you like to pull the warrant for discussion and then have that discussion?
Sure.
Okay, so that is item, which item is the warrant? I don't have my glasses on here.
5.2.
Okay, 5.2. So you'd like to pull that for discussion? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I sent emails to various department heads for 4 of the vouchers. Voucher 193173 was the $1,000 that went to Lisa Lehman and Amy Collins and the Recreation Commission are getting a new sign made for the Howlands Cove that would look similar or to the Gurney Lane Recreation sign, which is cool. Voucher 193055. I learned that from Jared Smith that $15.50 is the yearly license fee for the body cameras from Covan Technologies. Voucher 193076 is the $32,000 that I learned is the yearly installment for 2 of the 2023 Ford police vehicles. And voucher 193127, that $21,000 bill, that's the yearly lease payment for the street sweeper from DPW next to Terry Lambert.
Okay, great. Did you have any concerns about anything, or just wanted to share?
I just wanted to share my findings, and I figure the public would also love to know, like, why, like, what is that $21,000 and stuff, as well as anybody that's excited to learn about developments and how it's going. And we're hopefully going to get a new sign.
Okay. So can we do that all together?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So anything else anyone wants to pull? All right. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Let's see. We have one item that is being introduced tonight under new business. I think you received an email from the clerk's office regarding this earlier. Does anybody, I'll read the resolution and then I'll see if anybody wants to discuss it further. So the resolution says, resolved that the Common Council hereby approves encroachment permits 3/2026 through 7/2026 for slip fiber 330 State Highway 11B, Nickelville, New York 12965, based on the approval layouts and subject to the city engineer's standard requirements. And there are a few permits listed below. And then it says all permits included do not allow for any groundwork, only overhead installations, and if any city trees are impeding this work, approval from DPW and the tree commission are required prior to all tree maintenance. Does anyone have any discussion that they'd like to have on this?
And just, Mayor, if I could, so if they do need to come before the tree commission, will the tree commission commence earlier than what their regular meetings are? I just kind of see this thing, they're going to be string gable around the city, the whole city.
It's
Yeah.
How much
from
time?
March 2nd through June 2nd, so there's time.
They did reach out prior to the previous tree commission meeting that we had, and I believe they were advised of the date of that meeting and then the next meeting, and I think they might be planning to come to the next meeting. If they're stringing something on a tree, they don't need permission. It's really if they're planning to significantly alter a tree, like cut a tree down, something like that. And the tree commission knows that it's in their contract that they will need to review that.
Yeah, thank you.
I did speak with them today, Slip Fiber, and they did state that if there were any impeding trees, they would have no issue just continuing
All
along.
right, that's what I want to
And
hear.
then going to the tree commission to say, hey, we may need to do something.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve?
Emily gave a wonderful explanation of the other areas, 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 13, that weren't listed here, had already been approved. I think it was 2024, 2025, and already completed. So the only areas on that map that's provided is 16 and 17.
Yes, they've already done work in areas of the first ward, and now they're looking to expand throughout the rest of the city, so there will be another option to residents, which I think is a good thing, so. Okay, any further? Yes?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, you'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries, thank you. Does anyone have any old business? Councilwoman Lafarge?
Yeah, I just wanted to, thank you, Mayor. 56 Walnut Street, I still getting a few complaints from some of the neighbors and whatnot, that the garbage is now piling up on the road and causing a major issue with the plows being able to get down and whatnot. So I knew there was some email chatter back and forth, but I just like to.
I have someone, one of the neighbors coming in to meet with me tomorrow.
Oh.
Planning to, listen to their concerns and
Great.
we'll see where we go from there.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Old business, Councilman Landry.
Thank you, Mayor. As a continuation of the work that we're doing on the code violations and encroachments and all the other things that go along with the alleyway over here on Rich Street, the mayor pulled together some of the stakeholders, people who have encroachment permits already on that alleyway. We met with them. I think it was a very, very good meeting. I think that they're glad to see that City Hall is open to talk to them about the conditions that are there. I think that they're very willing to help us make it a safer environment, a cleaner environment. After the meeting, some of the fire inspector, fire chief, building inspector, myself, and the people from the businesses were there to walk through the alleyway. A lot of questions came up. But I think when all is said and done, hopefully we'll come up with some sort of a model. So if you have encroachments that are granted for refuge containers, which I think there's going to be a lot of them in the downtown area and located in businesses that don't have back doors, so they don't have a place to store it behind it. This might be a good start for that, so we don't have that problem throughout the city. So it was a good meeting down here.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it to the forefront, and I really appreciate Emily's work and Taylor's and all of our city staff who were there. We were quite proud in the neighbors conference room, but it was a good meeting today. Old business, Councilman Rice.
I'm never sure what's old business and what's new business when it comes to this. But
It's
I'd
all
like to-
business.
It's all business. I just want to take a moment to recognize and thank the hardworking snowplow operators at the DPW for their efforts during the recent storms. They've been out there in difficult conditions, keeping their streets safe, and I think they deserve our appreciation. And also another situation, I guess, with a pothole that was reported on Facebook that DPW got to like immediately. So just kudos to the hardworking staff at DPW.
Thank you. Old business, Councilman Lappin.
I'd like to just highlight what Councilman Rice has been doing on the social media of trying to direct people instead of complaining in comment sections of social media or comment sections of newspaper articles or whatever, that we have a website and there is an ability on the website to report a concern, and that way it'll get to somebody who's actually in the city, working for the city, instead of relying upon people like Councilman Rice to set them straight. So kudos to Councilman Rice.
Yeah, that's a good reminder that we have the report concern feature and the notify me feature, so people can sign up to get information, and also they can go on and report concerns. Thank you. New business, or old business, Councilman Palladino.
I went to this really cool event on Sunday at 12:30, right down the road at St. Mary's Academy. They just had a grand unveiling of their third floor spaces for their arts academy at St. Mary's. It includes dance studios, recording studios, which is really cool. You should check it out, as well as music spaces. And if you want more information to have whether to sign up for kids classes or adult classes, go to theartsacademy.com.
Thank you. Okay, so now we go to new business. Councilwoman at large.
No new business.
Okay. Councilman Donahue.
The East End Action Committee will be meeting on Thursday, March 5th at 5 o'clock in a room. That's new
Yep.
business.
That's right. Thank you. And I wanted to correct earlier, I told you I was meeting with that person tomorrow. It's actually Friday.
Okay.
Yes,
Ridge Street in downtown Glens Falls. And one of the things that we do have going is Fire and Ice on Friday, 5 to 8 at Crane Pond. And for the first time since I've been on this council, it didn't rain. So I hope we have a very, very successful one. The last, I had a constituent that called me about this today. Evidently, we can't take online payments at the moment.
Yeah, we've been putting out notices, there's been an issue that they're trying to remedy with the vendor, and as soon as, we're on top, we're working on it, as soon as it's resolved, we'll let people know. They can still pay by credit card if they come in,
Right,
they just can't pay online.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. That's all.
Is that new?
What, the meeting?
Is that about this? In person. Last time I was in it, okay, that's good to know.
Yep. Okay, new business, Councilman Rice.
I have none.
Okay, Councilman Latham.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, Councilman Palladino.
Alright, I have 5 things, no, there's not much public audience, maybe there's people watching online, but there's 5 cool things happening around the city over the next couple of days. ARCC's having a ribbon cutting for a new business right on Washington Avenue called the Use Less Store, which is really cool if you want to try and be environmentally friendly. It's Thursday, February 26th at 1 p.m. On Saturday, it's jam-packed with events. There's the Indie Book Expo at the Shirt Factory on Saturday from 11 to 5 p.m. Also on Saturday, Christchurch United Methodist is having their immigration discussion that a resident 2 weeks ago told us about. That's from 1 to 3 p.m. Glens Falls Community Theater is having their opening weekend for their Ride the Cyclones production, a 2009 musical set in an amusement park. And on March 2nd, Monday, at 7 to 8:30, the Feeder Canal Alliance and Dick Neeson, a login historian and retired forester from British Paper, is going to have a history of login in the Adirondacks in the community room at the Cradle Library. Those are fun events to go to.
Thank you. At this time, is there anyone from the public who would like to address us? Anyone online?
Yes, but it's not, I should give this to you later.
Okay. Okay. All right. Then I would like to ask for a motion to go into executive session according to officers. Taylor, you can tell me. Public Officers Law 105 something. 105D and 105F to discuss personnel matters leading to employment or termination and current litigation. Anyone you want to?
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all in
Third.
favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so we are going to do an executive session. We will go upstairs to the conference room. We are not coming back. We will not be taking any action. We will record the motions to adjourn and we don't have to stand. Okay? All right, we are in executive session. Yep. I don't know.
The only thing I'll ask you is about
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah.
not to be selfish, just if I'm not gonna have to say, I have to fix this all.
Okay.
Sorry.